All right,
Yeah.
welcome back to the Howard Stern of Pro Wrestling, Monte The Pharaoh, along with Jimmy Farrow, the star of the show, and our special guest, Steve Lombardi, the Brooklyn Brawler. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Great to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man. So let's get this out of the way. Enhancement
Go for
talent. Sounds like a failure, but you outlasted guys who were champions. Who really won in the end, Steve?
You know what? I outlasted them. I made them all. Because you know what? My whole job was to enhance everybody. And the people that I wrestled, you don't realize there's no winners and losers in wrestling. There's winners and star makers. And I made all the stars. Because in the ring, I was telling them what to do. And I was telling them what, like Razor Ramon. Throw me to the corner, I'll move. When I come out, close on me. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And they all knew that. So I'd have to adjust to each talent. So I actually preferred that. But when I got in the Bobby Heenan family, I was winning every night because Bobby Heenan was walking out with me, but I didn't have me to make me look good. So what I did was use reverse psychology. I made my opponent look good before I beat him. So I didn't beat a dish rag.
Steve, how were you treated coming up? Because, you had a very interesting climb to the top. How were you treated in the locker room by the other guys? Did they take you seriously at first, or was it like, an ascension to respect?
They totally respected me, and they asked us to please let me work with the Brooklyn Brawler because they knew that I was the best enhancement guy in the business.
Steve, even in the beginning when you were just Steve Lombardi, though I know how you evolved into the Brooklyn Brawler, but when you first came up, how did you first come up into the
When I
WWE?
first came up, I went to all the TV tapings, and they would just squash me and beat the hell out of me until Ricky Steamboat came in the ring into the territory, and I had his first match, and I came up to him, and I said to him, Mr. Steamboat, I'm going to wrestle you. He goes, I can tell you one thing, I don't beat dish rags, so I'm going to have a competitive match with you, and I'm going to give you everything I would give a top guy. So when they did that, all the other talent said, oh my God, I didn't know you could work like that. Tito Santana goes to me, how did it feel? I said, what do you mean, how did it feel? I could do this my whole career. But Steamboat just opened the door for me because he showed you what I could do.
Were you questioning yourself in those early days before the Ricky Steamboat encounter when you were getting beat like a rag doll? Did you think to yourself, what am I
wasn't
doing?
getting beat like a rag doll. I was getting beat to make the other guy look great.
Oh,
Half the guys I put over, I could beat the hell out of in the dressing room.
Oh.
You know what I mean? The business isn't what people think it is.
Right.
I made talent, and they knew it. And when I went back to the dressing room, like I had Mark Henry's first match of his whole career, and I knew he was a power man. So when he would push me off, I would fly through the ropes like he was a power guy, and he didn't know what he was doing because it was his first match. Then he goes to the dressing room and he goes, holy shit, you made me look like a Superman. I said, well, that's my job, Everybody else at home goes, oh, he beat the hell out of him. No. We used to do TV in Allentown, Pennsylvania, 3 hours, 3 weeks of television. I would walk out 1 hour. I'd wrestle Roddy Piper. I would go back. I would just clean up a little bit. Come out the second hour, wrestle Iron Sheik. Come out the third hour, wrestle Bob Orton Jr. The people sitting in the building said, he's Superman. He takes every finish, but yet he comes out like nothing fazed him. But then when they air it at home every week, people say, oh, he loses every week. And you know what I say to myself? I deserve an Oscar. Because you know what? They don't know what the hell they're saying because I made the talent. The talent didn't beat me up because I told them to do what they were doing to me.
And I understand that it's choreographed, and I understand you're explaining how you did your job. But was there any jealousy from you at all? Like, I want to be a top guy, or were you just okay in the position you're
I'd rather
at?
be an enhancement guy because I became a top guy when Bobby Heenan took me over. And I was in the Heenan family with Andre the Giant, Paul Orndorff, all the top guys. And then Bobby Heenan would walk out with me, and I would completely win every night. But I didn't have me to enhance me. So what I did was I enhanced the guys I was beating and made them look like they had a chance so I didn't beat a dish rag.
I got to ask you. So one of my fondest memories, and I might be the only one, Steve. So please correct me if I'm wrong. I loved when you were feuding with the Red Rooster, man. I loved the Red Rooster character. How come that character is not loved like I love it? Like, what was wrong? What didn't work out with the Red Rooster?
Well, Terry Taylor hated the Red Rooster because it was almost a rib to give him that gimmick, you know. And Terry Taylor was a unique kind of guy. He was the kind of guy that if he won, he was happy. If he lost, he was miserable, you know. And he was just he was just a funny kind of guy. He wanted to be a top guy. He was what you thought, you know. He wanted to be higher than he was, but you know, I just wanted to enhance him and then beat him, you know. But Bobby Heenan made my career.
Were you close with Bobby? Were you close with Bobby, Steve?
Yeah, well, as soon as Bobby came in, you know, I got friendly with him and all that. And then after I wrestled about 4 years, Bobby came up to me and he said, "Now you learn how to wrestle. You're a great enhancement guy. Now I'm going to teach you how to make money. Now I'm going to make you the Brooklyn Brawler, and I'm going to put you in my family." He goes, and then he goes, "I want you to wear ripped up jeans. I want you to wear a Yankee shirt because people didn't like the Yankees at that time." He said, "So wear the Yankee shirt." So I listened to everything he said, and basically he was my good friend. And you know, I actually liked enhancing guys better than winning. More of a talent.
Wow.
You seem very easygoing behind the scenes. Was politics something you were able to avoid and just do your thing and get to where you got as far, because you know there's politics obviously in the back. How did you get to where you got without getting caught in a stream of politics?
By doing the best job you could do and making nobodies the best make them look like the best they can look. And I never complained about anything. I took a liking to making chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know what I'm saying? That's an expression. But I worked with a lot of guys. I had Mark Henry's first match. I had a lot of people's first matches. When Bret Hart first came in, he came in with a backwards baseball cap. He had a shirt on with like a logo of a sports team, and I said, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." Then we got in the ring. He was a technical genius. You know, the guy was great because he was polished from Calgary. To me, I enjoyed better to enhance guys than to go over.
Steve, $1 million question. Earning the trust of Vince McMahon, which obviously you did, is the feeling empowering or nerve-wracking? I mean, the pressure that comes with that. What was the relationship like at the pressure under Vince?
Vince always said, if I asked Steve to go to the roof and get me a flag, he would come down with 2. And Vince always knew that he could depend on me for anything. Like he said to me, one day he called my house and he said, "I need you to go to Calgary and wrestle Bret Hart in the main event." And I said, "Vince, I wrestled Bret a million times. I had his first match in WWF in Cincinnati Gardens." He goes, "What I want you to do is Doink the Clown." I said, "Vince, the thing is, the face paint. I never painted my face up in my life." He goes, "I knew you were going to say that." He says, "What we're going to do is fly you from your house to Cleveland. Matt Bourne, who was presently suspended, his wife is going to meet you in baggage claim and give you his suit. Then we're going to fly you to Stanford, and our makeup girl is going to teach you the paint job. And then we're going to fly, put you back on the plane. You're going to fly to Calgary and wrestle in the main event with Bret Hart." And it was easy for me, but it was like going from, "I'm the Brooklyn Brawler and I'll break your legs," to it was fun to change characters. It was fun to change characters. And then, you know, my whole goal was to wrestle in Madison Square Garden, which everybody goes, "Oh, that's high hopes." I wrestled there 41 times. And I actually main evented in Madison Square Garden against Shawn Michaels. Look at him, look at it on YouTube. You know, because I won a battle royal in Madison Square Garden because Ken Shamrock was hurt, and Ken Shamrock couldn't win. And they went into Vince's office, and I went in also, and they said, "Ken Shamrock can't be in the battle royal." He said, "What are we going to do?" He looked at me. He said, "Put the Brooklyn Brawler over. He's local," forgetting that he advertised the winner of the battle royal will be the wrestle the world heavyweight champion in the next Garden show.
Whoops.
So that was Bret Hart at the time. But in between the next Garden show, which is 2 months, was the Montreal Screwjob. You know about that?
Of course.
So the Montreal Screwjob put the belt on Shawn. So I thought I lost my whole break. I said Sean had a bad attitude in the early days, which he doesn't today. But I thought he was going to refuse to wrestle me in the Garden. But when they told him, he goes, "Oh my God, I love it! The Brooklyn Brawler! Holy cow! Can you do the super kick? Can you leapfrog? Can you do this? Can you do that?" And watch that match on YouTube. The guy made me look like $1 million. He flew for me. He treated me like I was a main event of my whole life until China almost killed me. You know, she wanted to give me a Frankenstein and she couldn't do the 360 and she spiked me into the ground and I would have been paralyzed to this day. You know, it's so interesting. You know, I had Dwayne Johnson's first.
What you gonna do when it all comes back to you? Think, man, what you gonna say when it all falls away? Today, nothing ever found. Take a look around above the ground. There's no love out on the streets today. It's a mystery. There's a better way. People love to talk to ease the pain. No way it's ever gonna solve a thing. Speak out, love to hear your voice. War and hate to seem to be the drugs of choice. Tell me what tomorrow brings. It's a mystery. Open your eyes to truly see that there's no more time left for you and me. Now such a mystery that we refuse to see. Look at our history. The killer's you and me. We never ever knew. God's fate, hands are time or late. Better grab what's yours, don't hesitate. I don't say you didn't really have a clue. It's a mystery.
Couple things I want to cover, Jimmy.
Yeah.
500 level has now improved on the M&P code. Now go to MP30 for 30% off. Jimmy, I got to tell you something, right? I was at the beach, again, 500 level. If you guys haven't looked at the shirts, right, go to the website. It's incredible. And I got to be honest, right? So it was a little chilly today. I brought the dogs to the beach. I was off work for the Jewish holidays, today. Right?
It's cold.
It wasn't cold,
yeah.
but well, I have from 500 level, I have a Roman Reigns sweatshirt. Now, usually sweatshirts are not always the nicest fabric, unless I'm into really nice fabric because I just don't like things up against my skin. So usually I'll get thinner type of shirts, but this is a heavy sweatshirt. The fabric, unbelievable. And you're going to get a deal at 30% off, Jimmy. I mean, my God, it's a no-brainer, guys. I am telling you, once you get one shirt from them, you'll get 50. I guarantee it. And they've got all the sports. Yeah, dude, tell me what you think of it, Jimmy.
They're so comfortable. I got to get a long sleeve now. I'm telling you, I got to, because it was chilly today, especially for a guy who's been in Panama City Beach the last 2 years. It was chilly today, and I love the material. It's so silky. Is that the right word for it? I don't know.
No, absolutely, dude.
It's so comfortable. So yeah, I got to get myself some leveled long sleeves. That's for sure. 30%.
And again, it doesn't. They got plenty of wrestling stuff. They got baseball
Yeah.
stuff. They've got football. They got everything, dude. MMA. They got it all, man. And I'm telling you, it's very high quality. Again, 500 level code MP30, 30% off. So if a
Nice.
T-shirt costs you $20,
That's
what's
huge.
30% off on $20, dude?
It's enough. 10 plus another 20% tacked on top. Not much. It's a steal. It's a steal.
I agree. I want to remind everybody too, the Monte The Pharaoh show, hit the QR code, be willing to check out our shows on YouTube, where we got almost 24,000 subscribers. Go to our Facebook page where we're approaching 27,000 subscribers. And again, if you feel like donating to the show, please go to the Monte The Pharaoh webpage, hit donate. Helps us bring in more guests. Trying to entertain Jim. We've got the big event coming up, so a lot of good stuff happening right now.